voices that aren't always heard. That's why we support Canadian music with a focus through the TD Ready commitment on arts and cultural experiences that bring people together and break down barriers, even when we're apart.
Hello, my friends, and welcome. We are here again celebrating Emancipation Day 2022. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are excited for the fantastic talent that we're going to be sharing with you today. Thank you so much to our funders, our partners, and our sponsors through TD Niagara Jazz Festival. We are bringing you a phenomenal show. So stay tuned. Make sure you join us on social media at Jazz Niagara, and we are going to bring you some great talent, my friends. Thank you so much for being here, and stay tuned. My friends, this next performance is a beautiful performance by Katura Morris and her brother Jonathan. So lovely to have a brother and sister duo. And their music has this phenomenal sound of really their passion for their faith. So I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I did.
Thank you so much for having me and my brother. We're so excited to be a part of Niagara Fest, Jazz Fest, celebrating Emancipation Day. So happy to be a part of this amazing occasion. So if you know any of these songs, feel free to just snap your fingers, clap your hands with us, and sing along. This song that we're gonna do, the first song is called Golden by Jill Scott. So I'm sure you know it. So just feel free to just snap along with me. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm taking my freedom, putting it off the shelf. I'm putting it on my chain. I'm wearing it around my neck. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my car. Wherever I choose to go, it may take me far. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden, living my life like it's 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 golden, golden. I'm taking my freedom, putting it on my song, singing it loud and strong, grooving all day long. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my stroll. I'll be high stepping, y'all, letting the joy unfold. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden, living my life like it's 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 golden, golden. I'm holding on to my freedom, can't take it from me. I was born into it, it comes naturally. I'm strumming my own freedom, playing the God in me, representing His glory, hoping He's proud of me. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden, living my life like it's 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 golden, golden. Come on, John, play for me. like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, golden, living my life like it's golden. Hey, living my life like it's golden. I'm living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, golden, living my life like it's golden, 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 living my life like it's golden, 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 golden. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden. This next song actually is called Give Us This Day. Growing up, I used to hear my mother sing in the choir, on the organ, teaching us when we were in the belly actually, and out. The song really just reminds us of a simple prayer. It says, God, Jesus, give us this day our daily bread. So I hope that you love it. Give us this day our daily bread. You said you would supply all our needs according to your riches. I have but to ask, and I shall receive. Ooh, to go from here and share this love you gave to me, and to show someone who's lost, and to help them find their way, the way to truth and grace, so they can be free like me, so they can be free, they can be free like me. And Lord, we need your love. Oh, yes, we do. And Lord, Lord, we need your peace. Yes, we do. And Lord, we need your joy. We need it. We need it. Yes, we do. And Lord, we need your power this day. Give us this day. Oh Lord, we pray. Give us this day. Give us this day. So this song, I'm sure you all know it. is called Rise Up. Even when you don't feel like fighting, and even when you don't feel like giving all you can, because life sometimes gets really hard, remind yourself just to rise up. There is a fighter in you, and we're gonna move every mountain, and we're gonna rise. You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, and we gon' walk it out and move mountain. We gon' walk it out and move mountain. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. Yes, I'll rise up, I'll rise like the waves, I'll rise up, in spite of the ache, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you, yes. When the silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, I know you feel like dying, but I promise you we gon' take the world by its feet and move mountain, hey, and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. Hey, yes, I'll rise up, I'll rise like the waves, I'll rise up, I'll rise up the ache, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, hey, for you. All we need is love, and for that we have each other, and for that we have each other. Hey. We will rise, oh, we will rise, hey, we'll rise again, hey. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the waves, I'll rise up, in spite of the ache, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. Hey, for you, for you, for you. Hey. For you, for you, for you. So this last song is actually a gospel song that I grew up singing also in church. It's called Going Up Yonder. So for Emancipation Day, we're going up yonder. Does anybody ask you where you're going? Where you're going to? Does anybody ask you where you're going? Where you're going soon. I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder. Hey, I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord. I'm going up yonder. Yes, I am going up yonder. I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord. Listen to this. Hey, and I can take the pain. The heartaches they bring, and it's the comfort in knowing they'll soon be gone. Till God gives me grace, I've got to run this race. Until I see my Savior face to face. Tell them for me that I'm going up yonder. Yes, I am going up yonder. I am going up yonder to be with my Lord. Yes, I am. I'm going up yonder. Yes, I am going up yonder, yonder. I am going up yonder to be with my Lord. And I can take the pain, and it's the heartaches they bring, and it's the comfort in knowing that they'll soon be gone. Until God gives me grace, I've got to run this race until I see my Savior face to face. Come on. I'm going up to yonder. I am going up yonder. Yes, I am going up yonder to be with my Lord. Oh, yes, I am. I'm going up to yonder. I'm going up to yonder. I'm going up to yonder to be with my Lord. Come on, play for me, Johnny. Hey. Yeah, 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 yeah. One more time, come on. Yeah, yeah, I'm going up to yonder. Going up to see Jesus. Yes, I am. And going up to yonder to be with my Lord. Anybody ask you where you're going and where you're going to, why don't you tell them? Does anybody ask you, hey, where you are going, where you're going, where you're going to? Yes. That's an oldie. I love it. That's for you, Juliet and Peter, for you. Dedicate to you both.
You could hear the passion in her voice. How phenomenal. What an amazing talent. My friends, for more information on Katura Morris and her brother Jonathan, please visit our website at NiagaraJazzFestival.com, where you can learn more about where they perform and the history of that they have in their family when it comes to their music.
Hi, this is Wade from A Black People's History of Canada. I'm interviewing for the TD Niagara Jazz Festival today, Katura Morris and her brother John Morris. How are you?
Good, glad to be here.
Thank you for having us.
I understand you've been working for quite some time in gospel, singer and pianist, organist. Can you tell me a little bit about your upbringing?
Yeah, absolutely. So our parents are actually pastors, and our grandparents are pastors. So as long as we can remember, we've been doing music through choirs and singing. And my mother actually, she was pregnant with me, my brother at the same time. I'm a twin. And she was playing the organ. So I always say that I grew up loving music, right? It was just that love, that passion. What about you, for you?
Yeah, I mean, I was there too.
Yeah.
Obviously, kind of being, sibling there, but just watching my mother as well growing up, watching her play and eventually learn to play piano ourselves. And first song I ever learned was, Mary Had a Little Lamb. And all of us had to play it, but I stayed on we had a little organ, a small little one that's very similar to what we've got here. Yes. And it just became something that I was very, very passionate about. So I grew up always on the jazz legends and things of that sort. So I still have a kind of an old soul. So you will oftentimes see me rolling by in my car and it's Nat King Cole or Frank Sinatra, where you're expecting some kind of rock or something.
Don't forget Sarah Vaughan.
Sarah Vaughan for you. Ella Fitzgerald, the queen herself. So just really taking that and just listening to that kind of music and just allowing it to be something that I really love.
And you're the organist in your church?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And which church is that?
So the church that we go to is in Hamilton, and it's called Apostolic Ark Ministry. So my father there is the bishop there, so we're very involved in the ministry with him.
Yes, I heard your performance. It's very jazzy, and your vocals reminded me a little of this. I hate to say it, but the 70s, Stevie Wonder, Roberta Flack.
Ooh, I'll take it.
Very soulful music. The chords, very jazzy. So, yes, I think the people in the Jazz Festival very much love that.
Thank you.
So have you been touring as a team very often?
I mean, it depends. I probably go out a little bit more than my brother does, just because he's been doing more so home base. But I've been singing all over Europe, the U.S. A lot, Canada quite a bit. I've done quite a few shows with different performers. And I was explaining earlier, just having the opportunity to sing at Massey Hall and doing different events at City Hall, actually, in Hamilton. That was amazing, if you remember that one. But just having an opportunity just to be out in the community is such a blessing.
I'm sure you get a great response from your audience. How many years have you been doing this as a professional? You
know what? I'm going to probably say, professional? Jeez. I don't even know where it begins and where it ends, to be honest.
Draw the line,
you've been doing it so much, and I think it really is just a part of me. I know that sounds cliche, but
people always say they'll speak to me at the grocery store or something. Your voice, you have a singer's voice, like, because I'm always that raspy kind of a sound. But I think just when you love something, you do it often.
Yes.
And I think it just becomes a part of who you are. And so for me, well, jazz and gospel music will always be my heart and my love and passion. So I really don't know how to answer that, but I would say professionally at least 20, 25 years, absolutely.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
And yourself? You're about to get married in a week.
I am about to finally do the really big step. We did our COVID wedding, which was beautiful because we only had like 25 people, and the finances was incredibly great. So now that we're doing the actual wedding, and you went in with some hope of what it would cost, and you found that it costs more. And I think it's kind of like music, right? In regards to, I've known a lot of people over the years that loved music. You know, every time you're playing piano, someone's like, I wish I could play. You know, I used to play as a kid, but the cost that it takes to kind of get to this level, it has been expensive. And when I say expensive, just in terms of all the time that you have to put into it, but when you love something, it's just something that just envelops you. You know, I remember when I went to university, I went in for a law and political science, but I kind of ended up doing like a minor in music. And that's where I started meeting some of these jazz legends like Richard Whiteman and Kelly Jefferson that were some of my teachers. And I started realizing I don't know music at all. I almost gave up because I'm just like, man, I've been doing these things. And when he's explaining all this stuff, it didn't make sense until I took the time to kind of just really put the work in and practice and learn. And just saw the music world just kind of open up and envelop for me. So it's an amazing journey. She's doing a great thing, so she always just calls me up and says, you know, Johnny, I need a recorder. I need you to do something for me. Here's the songs. We got to do this by tomorrow.
It's so much easier to have, you know, someone, because my other brother, my twin brother, plays the drums.
Yes.
And so just having my brothers, when we would just go on the road, it's just home base. Let's go. Let's get up. We're leaving dinner and we're going to go play somewhere. So just having everything in the family. Dad tries to sing, but it's not really his thing.
And your mother's the real singer?
My mother is an amazing singer. Oh my God, she's incredible.
That's amazing. And I understand your parents are from Jamaica.
So our dad is Jamaican born. He came here when he was in his primitive years, I think more so high school in his 20s. And then my mother actually was born in England, and they came here when they were a lot younger as well. So.
Have you been to Jamaica very often?
Oh my God, it's a beautiful island. I love it, love it. Yeah. My parents actually took us there when we were 3-4 months, so we've had that itch of travel. So I actually just got back from Greece last year. Amazing. So.
Wow. Is there a lot of gospel in the churches in Jamaica?
Absolutely. I mean, you have Bob Marley that started in the church, and of course he made his way into doing reggae. And I don't know if you've ever been, but when you have an opportunity, you'll be just driving and there's reggae music, there's gospel music. Just music is in the air predominantly in Jamaica, and I think it's, you know, when you think of a people, they love music. And so it may not be jazz, but I think, you know, when you talk about music that just calls the heart, I always say music is universal. It doesn't matter where you are from, the color of your skin, where you grew up. As long as when you hear music, it does something to your soul. And I think the fact that I get to do that, I'm beyond blessed. And just to meet different amazing people like Peter and Juliet, and just having an opportunity just to connect with people that also love music the same way that we do, I think is an incredible opportunity. So.
I do too. It's an opportunity for people to get out and hear different styles intermingled.
Absolutely.
In your voice, I hear so much jazz, and what you were just playing. Do you think that's a cross between jazz and gospel, or would you classify that as jazz?
Absolutely. You know, when I'm teaching music, and you know, sometimes people ask me about, you know, playing gospel music and kind of the colors and the tones of it. A lot of times I'll say, you know, you need to start learning to listen to some jazz, right? You'll hear a lot of these things that are crossovers. So a lot of gospel musicians that I know, a lot of them can actually play jazz very well. Right, because a lot of these chords, you can actually kind of intermingle them, and you'll see them, you know, kind of borrowing from each other, right? So
I hear it,
absolutely,
in jazz,
And even in, like, I don't know if you've taken a listen to rock and roll, like old school rock and roll. There was a lot of inflections there that had a lot of gospel touches and tones to it, and so just a lot of musics that they interlace and intersect, I think, is incredible. Just because, you know, you could sit here and say that I prefer, you know, rap, right? Or I prefer gospel, but when you can actually just take in different genres and take pieces that you love from a different genre, and when you can actually just mingle it with your own, it's just so different.
Couldn't agree more. And when I listen to modern gospel, it is so full of R&B and influences from early rock, hip hop, and of course jazz. You know, so this is what you guys are doing, and you're Canadian, and you've been doing it 20 years, but it kind of feels like you're new. Like I mean, people are only just learning about you, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be fantastic to find out more about what happens in your career. Are you planning on staying here in the region?
I am. Generally, I'm in the GTA area, but wherever the music calls me, I'm going to go. So we're excited because generally we did it more so in the church walls or different conferences or concerts, sometimes outside of Canada. But we rep Canada, and so just to be able to share our music with the world through Canadian ears and Canadian music is so important to us. So I don't think Canada gets enough highlight in that. So.
Do you feel you're reaching more people with gospel or with jazz in Canada?
Oh, that's a great question.
Great question. I would say there's probably, I won't say equal, but I think that there's probably room for more opportunities with jazz, just because it can call to people from all over, right?
Or branch out into
right?
More,
you know, may not necessarily always be a lot of people coming into a church per se, or going to a gospel concert. You put gospel vest on the concert, you might kind of not necessarily reach so many subset of groups.
Certain people wouldn't come because of that.
Exactly, right? Thinking that maybe there's a hugely religious tone that maybe they're not particularly comfortable with, and that's fine. But I think when you're doing jazz, right, it really opens up the door to everybody, right, that allows people to come in.
There's a lot of people that wouldn't come because of the label jazz too, you know.
That's true.
You know, they think jazz is old school. But at the same time, just switching the topic just a little bit, do you think that white people in Canada really realize how funky gospel is? I
think so. You know what's funny? I do, because I think we have more exposure, right? We have more access to gospel music. And quite often, a lot of my crowd is non-blacks. And I think just the reception that I receive, I absolutely love it. I think just because blacks, we're so used to gospel, right? That's what we know. And so I don't know if there's as much excitement about it as much, just because it's home base, if that makes sense. But when I get to sing in front of non-blacks, white, Asian, Spanish, whichever, I think that it's almost like there's a reawakening, almost. Factor. Yeah, but there's an honest, genuine love of gospel music, and I think you never want to lose that, right? You want to always be open to other cultures and giving what you have, and never assuming that they may feel a certain way about something. Just give it and let them interpret it how they will, I think.
So do you feel yourself branching out even more?
I have always branched out. Yeah. Absolutely. I think it's important. I mean, just...
Can I give you a few examples? Pop.
I haven't branched out that much.
Okay. Theater.
Theater. I love theater. Broadway. I in another life I would have done Broadway for sure. But you know, I think for me, why I'm always going to kind of go back to jazz. When you look at the jazz greats, Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, and Nat King Cole, when they sang music, you felt it. Like the lyrics really spoke to you, and the music is just so light. And again, just, you know, thinking about a time, you know, talking about, you know, civil unrest and how jazz was really meant to bridge the gap.
That's what I write about in my academic work. So in the lyrics, I didn't really listen to them. I listened to the music primarily, but what do you try to say in your lyrics?
I think it's important to speak about the human experience so that people are able to gravitate to what you speak. I think sometimes I may not understand how you grew up, or, you know, how, you know, other people of different nationalities might have grown up, but music has that way of just bringing everyone together, and it really just touches the soul. And I think if I can speak about that.
Is there a protest element in your music, perhaps?
I don't know if I'd say a protest element. I think more so a love element, just a unity. I'm all about just that love and that care for the human experience, I think, for me.
And that's universal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes.
I think one of the tests of a really great musician is, if I was to sit around the piano, can I, if it was just a dark room and you just heard piano, can I evoke some emotion in you? Right? Can I get to a point where I'm playing something without any words, and you can have some emotion that, even if it brings you to tears or it brings you to laughter, can we evoke something from you? And I think musicians have to learn to be mindful with that power, one, right? Artists, we have to be mindful of that and be intentional about what we're going to do with the music that we have.
When you got their attention, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
with it?
what are you going to do with it? What do you
And
want?
I'm glad that you just pointed that out, because you know, you think of the song "Strange Fruit" that Billie Holiday sang, and it was quite a bit of a protest, actually, but just speaking about, you know, the lynching that was going on. That song was really meant to bring attention to that, and I think music, when done properly, with lyrics, can really help draw attention to matters that, you know, things that matter, right? Issues of the heart, the human experience, and I think when done in the right way, it really can cause people to be like, oh my God. Like, I think of that song, "What the World Needs Now is Love, Sweet Love. It's the only thing."
But you can't solve all the world's problems,
You
though.
can, but you can start somewhere, right?
Yeah. Well, let me just switch this topic up a little bit. How long has Hamilton been celebrating Emancipation Day?
That's a great question. I'm not even sure.
I do not know.
I'm not really sure.
Do we?
Celebrating it?
Do we? I don't know.
That's a good question. You know what? I studied Black history in university. I went to U of T. And so for me, just gaining more information and knowledge about Emancipation Day, or just about the Black struggle in Canada, I think for me just opened my eyes and perspective a lot more, versus just, okay, it's Black History Month, but really understanding a lot more with what Blacks went through in Canada, for me, has been life-changing. But in terms of celebrating emancipation, I would say rather recently, in recent years.
Same with me. I grew up here too.
Yeah, maybe it's not spoken a lot as much as it should be.
Was it in school when you were in school?
No.
I remember Black History Month, and they would put up a poster.
American history.
Right, they would put up, you know, some Black inventors or people who've done some important things,
Yeah.
and there'd be a poster that's kind of there outside of the cafeteria. But nothing that is, you know, really concerted to make sure that, you know, the youth are actually knowing what's happening and what.
Well, that's what a Black People's History of Canada curriculum project, that's what we're trying to do. We're putting it in public schools. But is there a large Black community in Hamilton?
Oh,
Is it
yes.
Very tight-knit, yes?
It's growing. When we first probably came into Hamilton, I would say not as much. But as the exodus of Toronto continues with the rising prices, right?
Is that how you ended up there?
Absolutely. Well,
We came up for ministry. Yeah, we came up for ministry. Our
The church
father.
actually just called our father to come and pastor. So
Yeah, so, but as we see it more, we're seeing more larger community, and not just, again, Black community from people who are from Canada. You're seeing immigration coming in as well. So people that may not necessarily completely understand the impact of Blacks in Canada. They maybe come with their own struggles, their own stories, of course. But the community itself is growing, which is a good thing. It gives the opportunity to rise for different businesses, different opportunities for that within the city as well.
Absolutely, entrepreneuring all over the place. Speaking of which, I heard about your podcast. How's that going?
Going really well. I know that our mother does Testimony Tuesdays, so I hop onto that. And actually, recently we spoke about just Black Canadians, actually, that have made an impact. And I do feel that we are making certain strides with that information getting out. We look at Viola on the $10 bill. So that's amazing. I mean, that's a stride, right? I mean, that probably would not have happened 50, 60 years ago, right? So, and interviews like this is also getting that information out, and what you're doing, I think, is amazing.
I think what you're doing is amazing.
Thank you.
Let me shake your hand.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for
Thank you.
having me time.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome and hello to those watching at home. My name is Juliet Dunn, and I'm the co-producer of the TD Niagara Jazz Festival. My lovely husband, Peter Shea, right here. You can applaud, yes. Artistic consultant as well. And this is the Twilight Jazz and Blues series here at the beautiful Spirit in Niagara on the Lake. And before we officially get started, we'd like to recognize the land from which we present here. It is the traditional land of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe peoples, many of whom live and work here today. So we'd like to recognize that we are here on that land. We love it here in Niagara on the Lake. Peter and I actually live just over the border, 5-minute drive. When the bridge isn't up, which it just happened to be this evening, which is for the live, then all bets are off. And that's why for the live audience here, we were running a few minutes late. Anyway, we're very excited for this series. It's the first and third Monday of every month. And tonight, we're going to bring up the featured performers this evening. So it's a quartet. The name of the band is the Thomas Nelson Band, and I'd like to introduce all of the players. So I'm going to start with Randy Sturtzinger. So Randy is you can applaud for Randy. Yes, please. I don't really need my notes for Randy, and I know Peter's going to jump in and say a few words about each artist as well. Randy is a pillar of jazz here in the community. Peter will let you know how long he's known Randy. I've known you 16 years. I think I've known Randy close to 18 or 19 years. Met Randy at Cat's Caboose, where there's a jazz jam on Saturdays. That's been going for about 35 years. That's why he's... round of applause for a jazz jam that's been going for 35 years. Give or take. Randy will let you know. And Randy plays piano, bass, and vibraphone. So he's what we like to call a triple threat. And Peter, you want to say a few words about Randy?
You got. I don't know if I'm capable of that.
Randy.
That was Randy. Yeah. Yeah. What we like to refer to Randy here is he's kind of like the. He's definitely like the. It's wonderful to have such a triple threat in the area. Anyways, it's. Growing up with Randy and his brother, I'm very grateful that those brothers were here to introduce me to this wonderful world of jazz, which today we can see that it's picking a little bit of momentum. And kudos to Randy again. Put your hands together, just keeping live music going. And that's all I really wanted to say about Randy. He's a fantastic musician, and we're very lucky to have him. So, I've known Randy and his brother. I remember the very first time I saw them, I just had a drum lesson with Ernie Porthouse, who's one of the drummers, who's become a very fine drummer, and he was my teacher and mentor for many years. And I think it was he was playing that night, and my dad took me to the Lancer. I don't know if anybody's been here long enough to remember the Lancer restaurant. That's right beside where the old Long McQuaid is, which is not there anymore. But I saw both Randy and his brother when they had hair back in the days. Sorry. We can tease. But no, it was great. I got my first chances to sit in and play live music thanks to those guys, and I just have very fond memories, and they built this jazz jam. So I was around probably close to 35 years ago when this jazz jam started. So that's how long I've known the Sturtzingers. So that's about as short as a wording as I can put together for tonight on that matter. I'm going to hand the mic back to my lovely wife, Juliet.
Thank you, Peter. On guitar this evening, we have Bradley Krause, who's here from here in the Niagara region. Did you know that Bradley is also fluent on piano as well as guitar? I did not know. No, so we might have to get him in for the piano series. He's also got an EP, and so we'll have to check and see if he has it here with him on sale. We'll find out. It's an EP featuring 5 original compositions, and he can be found around the Niagara region, and also plays as a duo with Chuck Jackson, who is the vocalist for the legendary Down Child Blues Band. So round of applause for Bradley Krause on guitar. Oh, Peter might want to say a few words about our drummer this evening as well, because for those of you who don't know, you may not have seen Peter yet on drums, but Peter's drummer, first of all. Did you want to say a few words about the drummer for this evening?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So it's an honor to be able to introduce this next musician on stage, the fabulous Graham Lear. Now, has anybody heard of Graham Lear other than his wife and family?
We have.
Yeah, of course. So you would know that, I first learned of Graham Lear I had an old album that I found at a garage sale, and it was Gino Vanelli, and it was a very young Graham Lear on the back of the cover there, and I was just mesmerized by the drumming, and I've been a fan ever since, and it's just an immense privilege to have you here, Graham, here with us tonight. Put your hands together for Graham Lear. He's far too modest, but if you get to buy him a beer and ask him to tell you some stories, you can get some great stories, I'm sure, of some of the people that he's had the opportunity to play with. He recorded with Gino Vanelli for many years, obviously, REO Speedwagon, Santana, just to name a few. So that's the lovely Graham Lear, everybody. One more round of applause. We're very blessed to have him here under the roof tonight.
Thanks, honey. Yes, and Graham actually hails from Plymouth, England, which is, for those who don't know, close to where I was born. I was born in Devon, England. And you said, REO Speedwagon and Santana, right? Yeah. So Graham's on drums. And before I announce and introduce the leader of the band, just wanted to say a huge thanks to TD, our title sponsor. Round of applause, please. Thank you. And I will be talking about our other sponsors at the top of the second set, so stay tuned for that. So Thomas Nelson is based here in the Niagara region, originally from the U.S. as well. And he hails a 5-decade career and has played with so many people and opened 9 evenings at Toronto's Massey Hall. He's played with top Canadian artists such as Tony Springer from Wild Tea, Rick Taylor, Willie P. Bonnet, and more. He's been a band leader for 7 years, and he has put together this fantastic band of the gentleman who we just mentioned, and as well sometimes he has Stan Simcoe on saxophone with him. He has a strong in-the-pocket style of bass, so he's going to tell you what that's all about, I'm sure. And his sets will feature blues, funk, jazz, R&B, and soul. So that's the first time we've had this kind of a band here as part of the series. So please put your hands together for the Thomas Nelson Band.
In the morning I was in my bed. My baby turned and kissed me on the top of my head. She made me breakfast, sent me on my way, kissed me on the lips and said, have a nice day. She had me right where she wanted. You know I was in a trance. She said, ain't nothing wrong with Texas, but I'd really love to go to France. Now I would do almost anything, but I'm still making payments on her wedding ring. And I went to my employer, it was Mr. Hayes, said, I've been working like a mother about a doggone raise. Well, he said, money's tight, and you know there ain't no chance. Won't you reconsider? Cause my baby wants to go to France. Now I see us walking along the Champs-Elysees, exchanging kisses in some small French cafe. Now wake up, mama, and don't you fret. I found 2 cheap tickets on the internet. We leave on a Monday for 2 whole weeks. And all we got to do is just eat and sleep. Now I had her right where I wanted, and you know she was in a trance. Oh, she said ain't nothing wrong with Texas, but I'd really love to go to France. Come on the subway, y'all. Randy's church singer, you. Wake up, mama. Ha! Tickets on the internet. Leave on a Monday. All we got to do is just eat, and I had her right where I wanted. And you know she was in a trance. She said ain't nothing wrong with Texas, but I'd really love to go to France. She said, baby, 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 ain't nothing wrong with Texas. I'd really love to go to France. Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with Texas, but you and I are going to France. Parlez-vous français? Merci beaucoup. Come on, man. Thank you so very much. All right. Good evening. Welcome everyone here to the gig. Here we are at the Spirits in Niagara Distillery. So glad to be here. You've been introduced to the band, but I'd like to also tell you that this is Randy Sturtzinger, once again on the keyboards. On guitars, Brad Krause. And a little bit of a story, Randy and I started doing like a duo kind of thing. I think that my previous piano player had hired Randy out to do this wedding or party we were doing together. And at the end of the gig, Randy said to me, he says, hey man, he said, I was checking out your book and I know this drummer that you would really dig playing with, man. I said, yeah, who is it? And he says, well, it's Graham Lear. And I said, get the out of here, man. Graham Lear. So here he is on the drums, the Graham Lear, y'all. Here's another true story. That previous song was a tune out of the Keb Mo songbook, and so is this one. It's called Dangerous Mood. They said we could play blues, right? Yeah? Okay. All right. Okay. So, watch out, baby, 'cause I'm in a dangerous mood. You better watch out, darling. I'm in a dangerous mood. Well, up the boss man, and I told him where to go and just what to do. Well, you can call me crazy, but I only did what I had to do. And call me stupid, but I only did what I had to do. Well, I had to steal a little time, darling, so I could spend it all on you. Parked the car down the street, and then I unplugged the phone, so it would look just like ain't nobody home. Come on. Put a rose on your pillow when you lay your pretty head. I'm gonna rub your tired shoulders and bring your dinner to your bed. Baby, 'cause I'm in a dangerous mood. Yeah. Well, I had to steal a little time, darling, so I could spend it all on you. Come on, Randy. the champagne on ice. And if once ain't enough, girl, I have to do it twice. I called my next of kin, yes I did. Then I made myself a will, 'cause I'm gonna love you over and over, again, again and again, yeah. Look out, baby. 'Cause I'm in a dangerous mood. Yeah. But I had to steal a little time so I could spend it on you. Hey, you better watch out, baby, 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 baby. I'm in a dangerous mood. Better watch out, darling. 'Cause I'm in a dangerous mood. Yeah. And I got this one last paycheck, darling. Yeah. And I'm gonna spend every dime on you. Come here, let me buy you a house. Dangerous mood. I'd like to thank everyone for being here, and by doing that, to tip our glasses to all of you. So I call it tip and sip, y'all. You got a drink? Tip it and sip it, all right? Here we go. Yeah. Cheers. This next song, it's called The Itch. I'll tell you that right away. But it's not that like that kind of itch, but it's we're all adults here, right? But this one's about choices, I think I like to say. It's about choices, and sometimes how the choices that you made one time either didn't work out, and but you go back and you do the same damn thing all over again. Yeah. Been there? Yeah. All right, well, listen to this. Heavenly Father, up above, have mercy on me. After 7 years of bad, bad love, I finally got free. I don't mean to seem ungrateful. You answered my prayer, and Father, if you're able, don't let me do the same damn thing all over again. You get the fever, you get the itch, and you forget about the mess you were in. You forget about the money, lawyers, and the pain, and do the same damn thing all before. Now I'm stepping in a big pile of the blues. Now the honeymoon is over. Let's not pretend. I guess I never learned my lesson. You let me do the same damn thing all over again. You get the fever, you get the itch, and you forget about the mess you were in. You forget about the money, lawyers, and the pain, and do the same damn thing all over. Come on. Mother Mary, Father Joe, I need to talk to your son. He had troubles just like mine, and he's the chosen one. But if I ever go to heaven, will that be the end? Or will I fall for some sweet little angel and do the same damn thing all over again? You get the fever, you get the itch, and you forget about the mess you were in. You forget about the money, lawyers, and the pain, and do the same damn thing all over. Yeah, you get the fever. Same damn thing. Yeah. Get the fever. Thank you so very much. I like to do that song like maybe once a month. Just for a reminder, right? Everybody all right? Yeah? Okay. Yes. Well, if you'll excuse me for a second, I got to take this jacket off, man, okay? So, yeah. I had good intentions. Yeah. All right, thank you. This next song, another true story, I'd like to say. And actually, this is a true story. It's called Slow Down. So, in, 2, 3, 4. A young boy, folks tried to tell me that I was moving way too fast, and I knew everything about everything. Didn't want to listen to a bunch of old folks talking trash. Well, so I got on down the highway, pedal to the floor, smoking and drinking and a whole lot more. And when they came to collect me out of that jail, I said, well, boy, next time you get no bail. You better slow down. Slow down. Woke up one morning with a hunger. Well, I'm home, yes I did, and I began to twitch. I felt the need for some loving, for some sweet somebody, scratching my itch. Now mama said, I don't mean to pry, but I'm here to advise you. Seeds like to grow when you put them in fertilizer. You better slow down. Better slow down. highway in a brand slow down. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you very much. In case somebody's keeping score, those tunes were done by Keb Mo, written and recorded by Keb Mo. And we do a lot of his stuff, and I like it because it, like I said, they're true stories, right? True stories, yeah. This next artist we're going to pull from his book is a guy by the name of Babyface. So, this is for the cool in you. Bottom line. Here we go round and round and round and back and forth, you know. Everybody goes through it sometimes, and that's just the way it goes. So we go up and down and up and in and out the door. And even though you know you've been through this before, and every tear you cry, I've cried 1,000 times, but I never wanted you to hurt inside. And I want to thank you, girl, for the cool in you, especially for you being so cool. And this is for the cool in you. It's for the cool in you. This is for the cool in you. This is for the cool in you. Looking on back at all the changes that I put you through, and any other girl in your position sure love would have been through. And thinking about how you made it easy, always there for me, but never once did you turn your back and leave. And every argument that we've experienced, it's so nice to know that you remain composed. And I want to thank you, girl, for the cool in you, especially for you being so cool. This is for the cool in you. 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 Guitar, come on. Thank you. This is for the cool. As Juliet was telling you, I started this band, I think around 2016. And I think the only reason it's been called the Thomas Nelson Band for so long is because I think I'm the only one that can convert the MP3s for the rehearsals. So that's a true story too, yeah. For those of you that don't know, MP3s are like the 33s of our generation. No, I'm not kidding, I'm just... What are we doing? Okay, anyway. This is a tune from back there, back in the 66, I think this tune came out. Bobby Bland, it's called Ain't No Love. And sometimes it feels that way. So, in, 2, 3. Ain't no love. We'd like to do this tune. It's a tune called Jocko featuring, well, all of these guys. Brad Krause plays guitar, man. Brad is just off a 10-day engagement at the Avalon Theater with the Jersey Boys. 8 nights, yes. He hates it when I say that, but... Sherry. Yeah. Sherry, baby, Sherry. What do we do? Jocko. Here we go, we'll do this one. Thank you so much. That's Jocko, Brad Krause, Randy Sturtsinger, Graham Lear, Thomas Nelson Band. We're going to take a short pause here and come back and play you some more music for the second show. Please welcome Juliet is here. Yeah.
One more time for the Thomas Nelson Band. In the pocket. Get it now? I'm sure you do.
My friends, how fantastic. If you enjoyed that as much as I did, the Thomas Nelson Band performs every other week at the Crystal Chandelier in Port Colborne, as well as the Spice Lounge in Niagara Falls. Thank you, Thomas Nelson and your band. You are phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, Wade Fath.
Hi, we're here with Thomas Nelson. My name is Wade Faff, social anthropologist with Heritage Canada. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Wade.
I just heard you guys at Soundcheck Funky.
Thank you. Thanks.
I know you've been playing around in Niagara Falls a long time, and I heard in your bio that you were born in Alabama, and
Correct.
Then you moved here when you were 5 to Niagara Falls. I assume with your family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you still have lots of family in Niagara Falls, New York, too?
I do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All my siblings are there.
Oh, so you have a lot of siblings?
Yes.
So, go on.
There are 11 of us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm the oldest.
You're the eldest? And do others play music as well? Your parents play music?
No, my dad and his brothers sang. The gospel thing, like the Volunteers and the Mighty Clouds of Joy, that kind of whole thing.
Oh, I love it.
From the gospel, Pentecostal gospel thing. That's where I started singing with my uncles and my dad.
Ah,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
And then when you moved to Canada, did you find there was a difference in the musical culture here between Canada and the States?
No, because I left the gospel stuff behind before I moved here, right?
Okay.
So I started playing, I guess, for lack of a better word, popular music at the time, R&B, rock music and stuff in nightclubs and stuff in Niagara Falls, New York.
Yes.
So I had made that switch from playing in churches and singing in churches to playing in the nightclubs and so on.
You must have learned a lot, like just, in those days music was diverse. And so
Very, yeah.
I read in your bio, some of your influence, they're all over the place. Like the Beatles, Marcus Miller, Weather Report, Ray Charles.
Yes, yeah. And the singers too, all the R&B singers. I started out in my first band, Supreme Soul, as a vocalist. I was the vocalist in the band, doing Wilson Pickett and all those cover tunes of the R&B sector back then. And eventually started playing bass as a result of an accident from the bass player that we had a. So I was put on bass because I had played bass in church, but had never played before.
How old were you when you started that?
I started playing bass in church at 14, and played there 4 services a week for a couple of years, and then I entered a school talent contest at 16, where I sang, and so that's when I started my first band.
Amazing. And then I was reading in your bio that you toured with a country band. I'm sorry, what was her name again?
Colleen Peterson.
Peterson. Yeah. And you found yourself on CBC radio and television. And tell me about it.
Well, it was all sort of a fluke because I got the gig through some friends, Rick and Steve Taylor, who are pretty well-known people around this area. And he said, "Do you want to play with Colleen Peterson?" I said, "Well, yeah." I was like 28 years old, I think, or whatever, and was just bopping around town playing cover tunes in co-op bands. So I joined her band, and we played a couple of concerts in Kingston and the Maritime Pop Festival. But then she got called to do 9 evenings with opening for Gordon Lightfoot at Massey Hall. And unbeknownst to me, I wasn't aware of what Massey Hall was, or I didn't even know who Gordon Lightfoot was at the time.
And so we did that 9 nights of that, and it was a real eye opener. And that's when I decided that I was going to be playing music full time, because until then I was doing a day gig, you know, driving tractor trailer or whatever I had to do to sort of, you know, take care of the family.
That's the usual story. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do it for the love of music, but you got to have a day job.
That's right. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. Did you find it difficult to put together when you started your band on your own? Did you find it hard to put together musicians that had the same taste as you?
This band, the Thomas Nelson Band? No.
No?
Absolutely not. There are so many like great players in the Niagara region.
Nice.
And with the internet, being able to you know, put my material together in MP3s and et cetera, and then whoever I wanted or whoever was available, I would just tell them, you know, this is what I'm liable to do in a night. Here are the MP3s. Go check it out and come and play. And so most of absolutely, I don't think I had a rehearsal at all for the first maybe 3 years.
But you guys were all skilled, seasoned players.
Exactly, yeah. They were all good readers. They were all good players. And yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun.
It's been a tremendous amount of fun.
You started on gospel, you went to country, and then in the middle you toured across the country with Mark Haynes.
Yeah, I started touring in 1974 was the first band I joined on tour. And at the time we were doing a lot of college concert circuit material in the States and in Canada, throughout Canada.
Yeah.
And you had a couple of gigs in Portugal playing on the island of Madeira, which was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I bet it was.
Yeah.
I bet it was. And now this summer, we have a summer in front of us. You are going to be playing for the Jazz Festival on Emancipation Day. And I remember on the phone earlier today, we were both saying Emancipation Day, like, is this a new holiday? And I was saying, no, it used to be known as the civic holiday, and so you've been in this country since 1970. You're a Canadian for all intents and purposes.
I am Canadian. Yeah.
You've never heard of this holiday?
I am Canadian.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
So
it's a bit of a conundrum or embarrassing sort of, like, these things happen and they're known by one name and then by something else somewhere else. You know, like the community in Nova Scotia. Has some connections to, you know, Ontario and
lots,
and you know, so yeah.
And Niagara Falls has a lot of connections to early jazz musicians, black jazz musicians.
Niagara Falls, St. Catharines.
Yeah, and you know, so in my work for the Ministry of Heritage, Black People's History of Canada project, we're trying to find the histories of regions and the history of people. So speaking of regions, you're from Alabama. That's known to be very significant in terms of early jazz music and early R&B music. You still have relatives there.
I do, yeah.
And you regularly go there.
Yes, I do. Until the pandemic, I was going every couple of years. I would go.
Can you tell me a little bit about the music culture there, or what's some great differences?
Well, I have some cousins that are musicians as well. So my cousin Norris, he has a band that he plays a lot of the weddings and that material. So, and it's R&B. It's mostly R&B music.
Is it the same R&B that we like?
Yeah. Same stuff.
Oh, well, that's good to know. You know, some things never go out of fashion.
Yeah.
You know?
But then, you know, there's the blues element as well. You know, where a lot of that music started. You know, the Delta blues, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, those places like that.
Yes.
Where that music thrived and still does. Right.
That's what I was thinking.
You can go into a nightclub or a bar in Luverne, Alabama, where I'm from, and you know, it's dirt floors, and you know, and people are just out having a good time.
So it really hasn't changed in like 50 years.
Some of it hasn't changed at all. Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah. So then there's probably still local blues musicians who are trying to come out onto the scene, and they have an audience down there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Don't you find it's a little harder every day in Canada to find like an audience for a place to play live? You know, you're playing favorites that people know from their past, and so maybe there's more venues available because people want to hear that sort of stuff. But imagine a young person today with new original material. Where would you go? Where would you play? You know.
Well, there's probably more of that coming up now. There's a number of different singer-songwriters in Niagara Falls that I know of. Jen is one of them. that play their own music, and they do the cover stuff as well, so that they can still work, because
You need to.
my band, we don't do a lot of songs that people know, and I've
Try to pick those B-sides.
I've intentionally put it that way. I do a lot of stuff that's just. It's sort of the feel of it is the people can are familiar with the feel of it, but a lot of the first maybe 4 tunes on my set list tonight aren't tunes that people would likely have heard unless they know that artist.
Well, that's always good too. It's a little bit of an education, storytelling thing. And
which is what I love. That's what I love, just telling the story.
I could tell, like when I heard your sound check, very melodic, your voice, your bass playing. I was going to ask you, what's your main ethos? Like, what do you believe? Like, when I was playing bass a little bit on the stage back in the 90s, right? I'm a funk bassist too. My main thing is I wasn't doing it right if I couldn't get people up dancing. If somebody wasn't up dancing, I was doing something wrong. What's your main ethos?
Well, it's pretty similar. If people aren't enjoying themselves, whether they're dancing or not, I've had a 4-year residency every alternate Fridays in Crystal Beach at the Crystal Chandelier.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes people want to dance. Lots of times they don't want to dance. But I still want to make sure that they're having a good time with it, right? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So like when the mood changes, you just sort of slow down a little bit.
Yeah. Or just, it's funny. A guy asked me a couple of weeks ago if we played Freebird, and I said, Freebird? I said, what did I do that would make you think I would play Freebird, right? Because I don't want to do it anymore, right?
Yeah, you used to, yeah.
Yeah. But then, so we pulled out a Rolling Stones tune.
There you go.
You can't always get what you want. So like I don't know, my book is probably, and the guys will tell you, the book is really heavy. It's about 150 tunes.
Yeah.
So, given a particular evening, if it's going one way, then I'll just, try and find out what people are.
Switch it up and keep them interested.
Yeah. And sometimes they just want to dance, and then
you got to keep that going.
You just let it go,
Absolutely. Yeah. Songs for lovers.
Yeah, that's right.
Dancers.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so where you live and where I live here in St. Catharines is very multicultural, very culturally diverse. And we live on the Underground Railroad Trail, and you're from the other side, from the other side of the river. But I think you're firmly right in the middle because you're right on the border. And so on Emancipation Day, you've got this greater awareness of Black Canadian issues, and your music is mostly from the Black music book, right? It's from
my music is 95% of Black singers.
Soul music, jazz.
That's correct. Yeah,
all the way through the century. Yeah. So,
and this music is out there in a lot of the blues clubs because there's probably about 3 or 4 blues jams that go on here every Saturday afternoon, and most of those guys are mainly playing Black music.
Are you speaking Niagara on the Lake?
I'm talking Niagara Falls, Niagara on the Lake, St. Catharines.
Oh yeah.
Font Hill.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
So it's too bad these people don't actually network more, so that people kind of get to travel from place to place. I mean, I'm a Black music historian, and I'd like to know that there's places that I can go to. There's places that I can go and check out what's happening.
Yeah, there's a lot, and there was a big piece, and I think the New York Times ran a big piece about how the music of Black Americans, Black entertainers, young Black players are sort of walking away from our music, in particular the blues, like the
early blues,
the early blues, and now people in America, the guys are coming up that are reclaiming that music. Here in Canada, it's not so much. There's a bit of it. The Blackburn Brothers are playing, but I often sub in at a place in Thorold Donnelly's for their bass player, and the guests that come in, they're all white blues players playing Black music. And the audience is white as well, right?
But they just love it. I mean,
absolutely. I mean, somebody's got to play it. I get that, but I'm just the awareness or having it being said or having it being acknowledged.
Acknowledged.
Yeah.
So you think that's what's important about Emancipation Day? Not that it all just be for Black people, but that it be acknowledged.
But yeah, that it's acknowledged. Yeah,
I think I agree with you there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to stand there on the corner, you know, thumping a stick, saying, "Hey, everybody, listen to me." You know, I just could have thinking that Emancipation Day, instead of calling it, like I said, for the last 50 years, the civic holiday, which is what they called it, the civic holiday. It should be known as Emancipation Day. It should be given the, you know, the acknowledgement that it deserves.
Yeah, you know, everybody's got a place in having that music acknowledged. You know, journalists, musicians, you know, just regular people just have the ability to, you know, even just casually saying, well, you know who that is that you're listening to right now, or
yeah, you should know the roots of the music. That's Wilson Pickett, you know, Mustang Sally. Everybody knows that, right? But
and beyond, you know, the Chicago blues host, and you know that like the background of that is that big migration that happened from the South to the North.
From the 1910s to the 1960s,
yeah. 70s included, where, you know, there was just that migration of people that, you know, went up the East Coast, went up the central part of America and the West Coast, and you know, took their versions of that music with them, you know.
Yeah, we gained a lot of great musicians in that time period, in the Great Migration, and you know, there's a certain character in Canada that's different from the States, and I think it developed into its own sort of feeling here. You know, don't you agree?
Well, yeah, and you know, sometimes, you know, what you have isn't valued until somebody else does. And as a young player, I remember, you know, when the Beatles came out, it was like, you know, that like they encouraged and influenced a lot of people. But their influences were Little Richard. That is so right. On and on, right? Yeah.
That's so right.
James Brown and you know, all those people. That's who they were listening to in England, the blues players, right?
Yeah, so it goes back and forth.
Yeah.
So right now, you know, you're teaching the kids about their roots, and so hopefully out on Emancipation Day, you know, there'll be a lot of musicians out there playing, and people come out and see it,
and support it.
Support it, and you know, maybe pick up an instrument, and instead of listening to the internet, you know, play an instrument. You know,
absolutely.
Keep that tradition going.
Yeah.
Listen, I really want to thank you for this interview, Thomas.
Well, thank you for having me, Wade.
No problem.
It's a pleasure.
Pleasure. I'm coming back to see you guys wherever you play.
All right.
Wherever you play, I'll be there.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Wade, I just love the way you interview. Thank you so much for that. My friends, stay tuned. There's more to come. My friends, we are taking it to the streets of St. Catharines, where the wonderful Faith Amur is going to be performing in front of the First Ontario Performing Arts Centre. And her music is delightful. You will hear sounds of swing and jazz and contemporary. And so you are in for a treat. Listen up, my friends, and enjoy the show.
Hi, Faith. What is your last name, Faith?
Amur, A-M-O-U-R.
And from whence do you hail?
My birth was in the country of Canada.
Yes.
My heritage is from the country of Guyana.
Excellent. How long has your family been here?
30 plus years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they musicians as well, or anybody there?
Good question. My father plays keys, so piano, organ. I think maybe some woodwinds, I'm not really sure. And my mom, she used to sing in like a traveling group in Guyana.
Oh, okay. So a lot of musicians in the family. And was that your first career choice?
No, it was not. No? If you're going all the way back, I first wanted to be a hairdresser. And then the real career was going to be, the real career choice was psychology and to be a psychologist. So I went to school for that. And then I decided, no, that's not what I'm going to be. So once I found myself, I went to school in the States for music and became a music educator.
Excellent.
And then a jazz singer.
So I understand you sing and you play several instruments. You were playing the flute earlier.
I was.
Yeah.
I was. My primary instrument other than my voice would be the piano.
Okay.
And then the flute.
Okay. And how long have you had that ensemble together? The guys you were playing with today?
About 24 hours.
Oh.
No, because I reside east of Toronto, and the show was here in St. Catharines, I decided to try to use musicians who are St. Catharines, so local.
And how did you like them? How did they work out for you?
Really, really well.
Yes, I thought they were good.
No,
I did.
they were awesome.
They were
I
excellent.
really enjoyed playing with Doug and with Duncan.
And you have a trio of your own in Toronto you usually play with?
So I have a couple of gentlemen on keys that I play with typically. So Adrian Ferrugia, Jeremy Ledbetter, Stu Harrison, and then bass and drums just as they come, who's available for the particular performance. So
I see. And I noticed that you have CDs for sale today. So did you write all of that music, or some of them familiar tunes?
Many of them are familiar tunes. When I recorded the first album, it was before I came back to Canada. So
Came back from where?
From New Mexico.
Oh.
I was living in Santa Fe.
Oh, I've been there. Nice place.
Yeah, no, very nice place. It looks a bit like the Flintstones when you first arrive.
Yeah.
It's all the adobe buildings. And so, I should speak louder. I should speak louder because
we're on film.
Because we're on film. So yes, I lived in Santa Fe, and it looks a bit like the Flintstones, the buildings, but they. What was the question? Sorry,
when you came back from Santa Fe, and then you began playing here, or did you go to school when you got back from Santa Fe? Is that what you're saying?
Okay. So when I got back from Santa Fe, I started doing music and working here back in Canada.
Okay.
But I recorded the album there before I came back. And so it was like half familiar songs and half either twists on old songs or original. So the twists include like an operatic piece, Habanera from Carmen, so it's Bizet, but with like a groove beat to it. So that was a lot of fun. I had a Montuno tune that I wrote with a bass player in New Mexico, and a beautiful song about a little girl who was a ballerina that I knew through the families there in Santa Fe. So just a lot of different instances that made up half of the album, and then classic standards on the rest of it.
Songs that touched you for that time period.
Exactly. And then the second album was just a live album of classic, kind of a perfect jazz night. That's what I wanted to put together on this album. So I recorded it live at the 120 in Toronto, which doesn't exist anymore. So one of the last performances that were recorded there was this show. So that's what the Classics album is. So it's pretty special. It's very special to me.
When it starts, and where's this going? It can't just stay this way. Fill me up, or just.
So over the years, I've played with TD Niagara Jazz. So
before.
I did a Duke Ellington exchange with Melissa Marie Schreiner a number of years ago, with Sarah Jerem as well. We did a Christmas show during the pandemic, a duo, Jeremy Ledbetter and I, from our home from his home in Toronto. His home, my home is somewhere else. And then this one today, which was just so much fun. so much fun outside in the sun.
Yeah, it's nice to be out there with people walking around, children playing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
taking it to the streets and having all the generations there, singing along and clapping.
And you're going to be performing again for TD Jazz's Niagara First Ladies of Jazz. Is that what they call it?
Super excited about that. Yes, that night will be in September, right here in the PAC at First Ontario
Performing Arts Center.
So many words, but yes, this place where we are right now. So excited about that. I'll be singing the songs of Billie Holiday.
Billie Holiday songs.
And so I'll be digging deep for that, which will be really a lot of fun.
Who are your more favorite influences?
I'd say my top one has been, within jazz, has been Ella Fitzgerald. I did a tribute to her for maybe 3 years between New Mexico and Ontario. And I also really love Cassandra Wilson. There's an atmosphere that she creates in the production of her songs and the instrumentation. It takes you to another place. I really like a lot of Esperanza Spalding and Gretchen Parlato's vibes. So kind of stretches the gamut. Melody Gardot, she's fantastic. She also takes you to a new atmosphere and space in music. Yeah, those would be some of the top ones.
Before the fiddlers are playing, before they ask us to pay the bill, and while we still have a chance, let's face the music and dance.
Did your Guyanese background influence you in any way in your music journey?
No way whatsoever. No. I would say that growing up in a Caribbean household, the sounds of the Caribbean are going to seep in, regardless. Even if my mom was playing Vivaldi and, Bach CDs as I was growing up, there would be a special fire that would come up when it became a calypso tune or you know what I mean? So even the show today, I wanted to make sure to incorporate that, and that's something that's important in my writing going forward as well. Just having that Caribbean flavor, and Guyana being South America, but Caribbean culture, it has an interesting kind of a binary thing going on there. So that's been a big part of me wanting to always have some rhythm. Like I love percussion so much, and whenever I can, I incorporate that into the music because it gets people moving, it gets people excited, it gets me very excited. Very much.
Let me find that your hands that are touching me is not the hand that's supposed to be your lips an illusion. Let me be the only fool for your embrace. Let me fall upon
Wasn't that fantastic? Hey, music on the streets is the way to go. Thank you so much, Faith.
and music and love and romance. Let's face the music and before the fiddlers are playing, before they ask us to pay the bill, and while we still have a chance, let's face the music and dance. If love's overrated, let me be the one that is to see. Let me find that your hand
My friends, I hope you're enjoying the show as much as I am. And hey, great events like this could not be put together without the support of our title sponsor, TD, as well as all the other phenomenal funders, sponsors, and partners. So join me in giving them all a virtual round of applause. And here they are. My friends, it's now time to go to the streets of Paris. My good friend Juliet Dunn and Le Trio Parisienne is going to perform a wonderful set. Enjoy.
Ma chambre a la forme d'une cage. Le soleil passe son bras par la fenêtre. Des chasseurs à ma porte, comme des petits soldats qui veulent me prendre. Je ne veux pas travailler, non, non, je ne veux pas déjeuner, je veux seulement oublier, et puis je fume. Déjà j'ai connu le parfum de l'amour, 1 million de roses n'embaumerait pas à temps. Maintenant seules les fleurs dans mes entourages me rendent malade. Je ne veux pas travailler, non, non, je ne veux pas déjeuner, je veux seulement oublier, et puis je fume. Je ne suis pas fier de sa vie qui veut me tuer. Oh, c'est magnifique d'être sympathique, mais moi je vais pas jamais, non, non, non. Je ne veux pas travailler, non, non, je ne veux pas déjeuner, je veux seulement oublier, et puis je fume. Je ne suis pas fier de sa vie qui veut me tuer. Oh, c'est magnifique d'être sympathique, mais moi je vais pas jamais, non, non, non. Je ne veux pas travailler, non, non, je ne veux pas déjeuner, je veux seulement oublier. Et puis,
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Whose song is that?
It's called Darn That Dream, and I would need to look it up. I don't want to say who it is because
You don't want to be wrong.
I need to work the Google machine.
Nice progression.
Thank you.
This is Peter Shea.
Thank you.
And my name is Wade Pfaff. I'm with the Black People's History of Canada and working for the TD Niagara Jazz Festival. Peter Shea is a skilled and trained musician from St. Catharines. And then you went to U of T for drums, I understand.
Yeah, I did drums and all things percussion, and I did like composition as well. So lots of instrumental writing.
Were you playing the piano at the time?
Yes.
Yes.
And actually, when you were there, you had to have it really had. You wanted to take some extracurriculum piano. You wanted to have some. You needed either guitar or piano if you want to compose. It's
yes, you have to have an instrument to compose on.
So
yes. Do you have a preference now, piano or drums?
I love them both. It's to me now they kind of morph into one another. Now I see them as all one instrument. Like piano having its percussive and
aspects.
There's hammers and you're organically drumming the hammers against the strings, and there's a whole orchestra. I mean. If I had to choose one instrument, I mean, the piano does have everything in it. It's got percussion, it's got orchestration. There's 88 keys and just a massive range of sound.
You can express them in so many different ways.
Yeah.
So you came straight out of high school into music school, and you've been a professional musician ever since.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. That is a rare talent.
Oh.
That is a rare talent to make a career out of that, such a thing. And I understand your wife Juliet. Her work together rather regularly, and she's a vocalist.
Yeah, she's a fantastic vocalist.
Where did you guys meet?
We actually met here in St. Catharines. A good friend of ours, Kim Van Stigeren. Shout out to Kimmy. Hey, how are you? She actually set us up. There was a songwriters group that Juliet and I. We didn't know each other at the time, but we had a mutual friend in common as Kim and her then husband Logan. They had a writers group and they would get together, and we didn't get a chance to cross paths, but eventually our paths did cross, and that was thanks to Kim. She brought Juliet out to. I was playing with my jazz trio at a bar downtown across from what used to be Stella's. I'm trying to remember. It was the Great Canadian Bar and Grill, or a few other different venues.
St. Catharines.
St. Catharines, yeah.
Yes. Yes. So you're still here in St. Catharines. You traveled the world, and you choose this little place to live in.
I do.
And now you've started.
I wouldn't call it little. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. And now you've started the TD Niagara Jazz Festival on behalf of the entire region.
Hell yeah.
And you're out there at wineries in St. Catharines. You're all throughout the region performing.
Yeah. And and that's more. We're talking to my wife Juliet there. That's
she's a hustler.
She's the hustler. She's the one running around and doing all that and getting. Well, I mean, I help where I can with moral support, but she's
and you perform.
Yeah, I perform and
all the time.
We do what we can together as a team, and she's doing remarkable things in this region, and
I think so.
It's just changed the region. She's created a family out of thin air.
I would say,
and a beautiful family it is.
I left this town 12 years ago to pursue my university career. Now I come back and there's a scene. That's got to be because of you guys. You know, and so how long has the Jazz Festival been running now?
It has been running 9 years. 9
years.
And it's coming up to 10 next year. So we're going to hopefully, I'm sure we're going to have a really big bash next year. We're going to have a wonderful celebration of the 10-year. That'll be a real landmark. So one to mark in your calendar, everybody. Put down the 10th anniversary of the TD Niagara Jazz Festival. Show your support, show your pride.
Do you bring in musicians from out of the country or just Canadians?
we bring people from out of the country as well, but we have a lot of Canadians. Like we feature, the best of that we can find.
Yeah. And I've seen a few of those. Some fantastic musicians locally, absolutely.
Amazing.
And all the events that you guys, it's all year round kind of for you guys, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. So it's ongoing. There's no particular festival season for you.
Well, there is the final season that's coming right now from the 20th to the 24th of July, and that's not to be missed. Mm-hmm. That's the core. Like, I mean, it's a huge one on the calendar to put in there. I mean, it's sort of the icing on the cake, but there's like you said, there's so many things happening all year round.
One of the events I read about was the World Music Picnic. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Down at Club de Sal on the shore of Lake Ontario.
Yeah, at the end of the street.
Yeah, and that's going to be an outdoor event all day.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. Okay, I heard about that one. So that's something that people can come to and just check it out, right?
Yeah.
It's not at one of the wineries in Niagara on the Lake or something like that where people have to get there on their own. They can just right here in town. So that's fantastic. This town needs that.
Yes.
You grew up in this town, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very little jazz culture going on here for the longest time.
Well, that may not be true, but I think it's there has been a jazz. It's gotten so much richer.
Yes, it's got a resurgence. Yes,
and but I mean, going back even like pre-50s. I mean, we did get a chance. Juliet and I were out actually at Big Marco's. It's a pizza place that we like to go after gigs. Mm-hmm. And we have a friend, Randy Sertzinger, and his brother Warren, who
I know Randy.
Yeah, Warren had passed away, and so we got the pleasure of interviewing Randy and to find out about the older generation, which I was just talking about here. Mm-hmm. So he's got all those stories. We're trying to capture them because it's part of our history. It's not well known. I think we should maybe produce a handbook of like what happened at the jazz scene of St. Catharines jazz scene, and
yes,
since maybe even the 20s. It'd be fascinating to see.
I did a lot of research myself as a black music historian, and the name to know is Miney Sutton. Sutton. He broke all the race barriers in Ontario back in the Well, first it was in Montreal, and then he moved back here when his father died in 1941, and so he's a character to know. And Niagara Falls seems to be where a lot of these musicians hail from.
Yes.
Yes. So, but we're St. Catharinites, so we want it here in this town. Yeah, you guys are doing a great job.
Oh, thank you.
And I applaud what you're doing, and your music is fantastic. All the artists that you've brought in are really opening up my eyes to the potential of what this community could become. Yeah. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Our pleasure. Yeah.
Would you play us a song?
I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
It's a little Darn That Dream.
Wow, isn't that great?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cette heure qui m'obsède jour et nuit, pourtant n'est pas né d'aujourd'hui. Il vient d'aussi loin que je viens, traîné par son mille musiciens. Un jour cette terre me rendra folle, sans foi j'ai voulu dire pourquoi, mais il m'a coupé la parole. Sa voix d'avaler et sa voix couvre ma voix. Padam, 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 et je t'aime le 14 juillet. Padam, 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 et toujours on achète au rabais. Padam, padam, padam. Des vœux tout envoie leur par paquet. Et tout ça pour tomber jusqu'au coin de la rue, sur l'air qui m'a reconnu. Il me dit rappelle-toi tes amours, rappelle-toi puisque c'est ton tour. Y a pas de raison que tu ne pleures pas, avec tes souvenirs sous le bras. Et moi je vois tout ce qui reste, mes 20 ans font battre tambour. Je vois entrebattre les gestes, toutes les comédies des amours. Et sa voix plein de l'amour. Oh, padam, padam, padam. Et je t'aime le 14 juillet. Padam, padam, padam. Des vœux tout envoie la par paquet. Padam, padam, padam. Et toujours on achète en rabais. Et tout ça pour tomber jusqu'au coin de la rue, sur l'air qui m'a reconnu. Écoutez le chahut qu'il me fait, comme si tout mon passé défilait. Des vœux tout envoie leur par paquet. J'en ai tout un solfège sur cette terre qui bat sur un cœur de bois. J'en ai tout un solfège sur cette terre qui bat sur un cœur de bois. J'en ai tout un solfège sur cette terre qui bat.
What a showstopper. My friends, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Juliet and the trio Parisienne was fantastic. We have more great acts for you to enjoy. Please stay tuned and stay connected online. My friends, this next performance is by a friend and a Juno Award winner, Miss Sammy Jackson. Sammy Jackson's actually a brand new mom, and her music is distinct and so unique. You will love it. Please enjoy.
Welcome. How's everyone this evening? Yay! Good to see you. Thanks for coming out. We're going to bring up Peter Shea to say a few words, and I'd like to also say a few words before we get started. And we just, as I mentioned, came back from BC, so a lot of transit lately, and we live in a pretty great country here in Canada, and we're very, very fortunate. You know, really, really fortunate. So, yeah, thanks for everyone who was here before us and who's here still today. And Peter would like to also say a few words about the music that we present.
So my wife said to me, you have to sum up Black African Americans' contribution to jazz music in 3 sentences. And I said, yeah, sure, no problem. Okay, yeah. Maybe 4 sentences? Wait, I'm already 3 or 4 sentences in. Okay. The contribution of Black African Americans can't be summed up, obviously, in 3 sentences, but it basically is just the roots of the tree. The tree wouldn't exist without the roots, and they are the roots of this music that we call jazz and blues, and all the traditions that were brought from Africa came here. So I'm just going to sum it up in that way, because I'm sure many of you know. I don't have to tell you how how important it is to mention the Black African American contribution to jazz music. And we are truly grateful for that contribution. So put your hands together for all those souls that came over and helped to shape and form this beautiful music that we can enjoy.
Thank you, honey. That was good. So let me introduce the band. A raise of hands if you've been here before. I mean, I know quite a few. Excellent. So quite a few newcomers. And we seem to be getting into this trend of musicians who have won Junos. It's fantastic. Yeah. So this band is no exception. So I'm going to start by introducing all of the members of the band, and I'll leave Sammy to the last. So I'm going to start with our drummer this evening. He's an award-winning Toronto-based drummer and composer and dance accompanist. So that's pretty cool. He's has been recognized by the Toronto Ontario Arts Council Arts Foundation from Humber College. He's performed with the likes of the Audubon Trio, Rich Brown, and the Abeng and Bros. He's also performed with the Juno Award-winning Kelly Lee Evans and Emily Rockharts and James Hill's Local Talent, to name a few. And also, oh no, I said that, for the Emerging Arts Award. And headlining musician and sideman, his name is Ian Wright, and he will be on drums this evening. We've got so many, it's very exciting because jazz, our goal, and it's on our website as well, part of our mandate is to keep the art form of jazz alive. Peter and I are getting up there in years, right? We're getting there. And so these guys are a lot younger than us, so it's nice to see the young generation coming in, and so many of the people in the band tonight are like new faces or emerging artists, so we're very excited to present them. So Mark Godfrey on bass is one of the new faces of Canadian jazz, yeah. From Toronto, or lives in Toronto, but from southwestern Ontario. And Mark's got the 2014 Grand Prix de Jazz from the Montreal Jazz Festival, playing with the Pram Trio. Hello! And Juno Award with the Sammy Jackson Quartet for With You. So it was a quartet, right? Or was it a quartet? Yes, thank you. Just to make sure I'm not misquoting. And to date, Mark has released 2 albums under the name of Prologue and Square Peg. Do you have albums here tonight with you, Mark? Okay, no worries. Good call. Sammy's Gig, yes. Mark is, has been featured on bass with Allison O, Matt Warshall, pianist Chris Pruden, and drummer Nick Fraser. And he's versatile on both electric and double bass, and has also performed with Kelly Lee Evans, Barbara Lika, Sammy Jackson, Joanna Mojoko, and more. So big round of applause for Mark Godfrey. And I know you've got some family in the house this evening, correct? Yeah, hello, woo! Thanks to you for making this guy happen, excellent. On guitar, we have Tom Fleming, who's a guitarist, composer, improviser, arranger, and educated. He's also based out of Toronto. He has performed and or recorded with notable artists such as David Binney, Jeff Coffin, Ralph Alessi from Bela Fleck, and Jeff Coffin from Bela Fleck and the Dave Matthew Band, Robbie Botosh, Roberto Acapinti, and Marquis Sweater, many more. Lou Pamonti, Pat LaBarbera. He has also, performance highlights include performing at the Tokyo Jazz Festival, so see if you can catch him on the break, ask him about that. Victoria International Jazz Festival, Festival International de Jazz de Montréal. I just wanted to speak French a little bit. And the Vancouver International Jazz Festival, and his resume goes on and on as well. So just so you know, on our website, we always have all of the artists and their resumes posted so you can read all about them. So big round of applause for Tom Fleming on guitar. What a band! Can I just say it's Monday night in Niagara on the Lake? Yay! Anyways, and now to bring on our featured performer for this evening. Her name is Sammy Jackson, as you know. Juno Award winning. Round of applause. So exciting. Also, like myself, Canadian Jamaican, and also lives in Port Weller. Like Peter and I do, yes. We're very happy to have Sammy here in Niagara. So she grew up fusing elements of jazz, R&B, and pop, and regularly found opportunities to perform and develop as a musician. Then she went and got a Bachelor of Music at U of T with jazz voice. And during her education, she studied with accomplished vocalists such as Alex Samaras, Christine Duncan, and Sienna Dolan. So she has been performing at events such as at the Glenn Gould Studio, Jazz FM 91's a one-stop jazz safari. We've got a couple of guests from Jazz FM this evening. Are they here? Well, maybe they haven't shown up yet. Maybe it's traffic. Anyways, and also at the Rex Hotel, the Tiff Bell Lightbox, and many, many more. She's also shared the stage with Barbara Lika, Roby Botosh, Rich Brown, Larnell Lewis, and many, many more. Her latest release is With You. That's the name of the show this evening, and you're gonna love her sound. She did win a Juno. I know I've said it once, I'm gonna say it again. She won a Juno for this vocal jazz album. Please put your hands together. I'm not sure where she's coming from. Right, where is she? Sammy Jackson. Is she back there? Where's Sammy? Here she comes. Have a wonderful show, and I'll see you on set too.
Doesn't it feel strange? Nothing is the same as I left it. Staring at your face in a different frame than I dreamt it. Oh, we've become is different than what we had planned. All that I want is just to know we both stand. Near or apart, change is never far. Sunday in the park, staying after dark till we're lonely. Counting little stars, wondering what they are, moving slowly. Oh, we've become is different than what we had planned. All that I want is just to know we both stand.
Thank you guys so much. It's so great to be out here performing. Thank you so much to the TD Niagara Jazz Festival for having us a part of their series, the Twilight Jazz Series. We're also really happy to be here in this venue, Spirit in Niagara Distillery. It's a beautiful venue, and yeah, we're just so happy to be here. So thank you so much. So we'll be playing a bunch of tunes from my Juno Award-winning album with you, and we'll be doing a few new tunes as well, along with some old ones as well too. So I hope that you guys really enjoy what we have for you guys tonight. Time we say goodbye, I always seem to wonder why we can't just have a bit more time. You say the distance makes the heart grow fonder. I can't wait much longer. Can we just have a bit more time? Where I'm headed for. I pack my bags and hit the highway to my place, counting down the days till we get to do it all again. Doesn't matter how long. Doesn't matter how far. Doesn't matter how long. It doesn't matter how far it takes to get to you. There's nothing I'd rather do than waste away the days when I have nothing to say. Time is well spent with you, even with nothing to do. Doesn't matter how long. It doesn't matter how far it takes to get to you. There's nothing I'd rather do than waste away the days. Nothing to say. Time is well spent with you, even with nothing to do. Every time we say goodbye, I realize how fast the time goes by. The way I love you more each day. You say the distance makes the heart grow fonder. I can't wait much longer. Can we just have a bit more time? Thank you guys so much.
So this album that I put out was kind of about my relationship with my husband and just the various events that kind of took place during that time period. So that song that you heard was called Every Time We Say Goodbye, and it was just about the fact that we had a long distance relationship. And so I was living in Curtis, Ontario, and he lived here in St. Catharines. And it was a lot of driving back and forth or meeting in Toronto and hanging out there. So I was very thankful when I moved out here to be with him. And so this next tune that we're going to go into is one that I wrote just about being insecure when you get into a new relationship. You know, sometimes people have baggage from previous relationships, and that can sometimes kind of hold you back. But you know, sometimes in the end you guys get over it and get past it, and that was the case for me. So this is called Past Tense. What do we do when we don't start at the same place? 'Cause you had your heart stuck somewhere else before I came. I know it's all inside my head, but it's hard to look past. 'Cause she's in your past tense and I'm in your present, but I keep looking back. How do I know you're holding my heart and I hers? How can you say that you love me now when you loved her? What do we do when we don't start at the same place? 'Cause you had your heart stuck somewhere else before I came. I had my doubts, but I put them away when I found you. 'Cause I'm in your presence, we live in this moment where so much. Thank you. So this next tune that we're gonna go into, this is a cover called Weird Fishes by Radiohead, and kind of our little interpretation of it. So I hope you guys like this one.
In the deepest ocean, bottom of the sea, your eyes, they turn me. Why should I stay here? Why should I stay? I'd be crazy not to follow. Follow where you lead. Your eyes, they turn me. Turn me on to phantoms. Follow to the edge of the earth. Then I'll fall. Everybody leaves if they get the chance, and this is my chance. I get eaten by the worms and weird fishes, picked over by the worms and weird fishes, weird fishes, weird fishes.
Thank you so much. So this next tune that we're gonna go into is actually a new one that we haven't performed yet. And I almost think of this song as a continuation of my album in a sense, where this one is kind of about when you're having a bit of an argument with your partner and it almost feels as if they're not, like you're explaining to them how you feel and how, you know, what's going on, but they're just like not getting it. And yeah, it's, you know, tricky and challenging. So I kind of took my frustrations and put it into the song. So I hope that you guys can maybe relate. I'm sure you can. And I hope you guys like it.
To
Thank you. Thank you so much. This next tune is the last tune of this set. Please stick around because we have another set happening after this. This tune is the title track from my album and the name of this concert. This one I feel is kind of summarizes my relationship in a sense where it's about traveling. We traveled not throughout Canada, but we went to BC and made stops along the way. We camped and had a really nice time together. And of course, when you're traveling and spending that much time in a car, there's sometimes arguments and things that occur, just like a relationship. And so for me, I feel like this song has two meanings of our trip together, but also our trip in life together as well. And this one is called With You. Follow my lead like we're on a new venture. It's you and just me. We can go where we want to. Gather your things, we can see what we find, and we'll follow your compass. Might lead us to something. Maybe we'll get lost, but what we might find will be more than what we came for. From a city where the lights never dim to the skies and the nights filled with stars. Drove past buildings that turned into trees. Now the forests are green and upgrade. Let's have a nice day in Winnipeg and Sault Ste. Marie. Banff and Regina, Vancouver is kind of sweet. There is no place I'd rather be than exploring this country with you next to me. Maybe we'll get lost, but what we might find will be more than what we came for. From the city where the lights never dim to the skies and the nights filled with stars. Drove past buildings that turn into trees. Now the forests are green and upgrade. Let's have a nice day in Winnipeg and Sault Ste. Marie. Banff and Regina, Vancouver is kind of sweet. There
Wasn't that so beautiful, my friends? Oh, I just love hearing her voice. For more information on Sammy Jackson, please go ahead and visit our website, NiagaraJazzFestival.com, and you can find out about Sammy and also about her new album that she just released. My friends, great events like this could not be possible without the contribution of our volunteers. Thank you so much for all that you do. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and for your patience. Welcome to the TD Niagara Summer Jazz Festival. Today's event, woohoo! Isn't it great to be out again in the beautiful patio? So lovely out there. So thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying the wine. Thank you to Hare Winery for having us, and of course to TD for being our sponsor. So tonight we've got a spectacular, there you go. Wine always deserves a round of applause, right? So welcome, welcome. This is our Soul Jazz in the Vineyard series. And so we kicked off our series yesterday with a spectacular event at another winery. And then today, this event. Tomorrow, we've got another event happening here. So for those of you who are just joining us for the first time, please go head on the website at TD Niagara Jazz Festival and check out all the details. We've got a wonderful lineup of events happening all through the week and then into the weekend. So super excited to celebrate jazz, music, and of course, just the arts here in Niagara. All right, are you ready for some music? Yes, yes? Awesome. This evening, my friends, you are in for a spectacular show. We're delighted to welcome Natural Elements with Ms. Jillian Mendez. As the lead vocalist, Jillian Mendez is also a Juno-nominated performer, recording artist who's recorded with Island Records. Joining her is Brian Humphreys on drums and vocals, who's performed and recorded with the Jeff Headley Band and the Fifth Dimensions. We also welcome Roger Williams on bass guitar, who's worked with Blues Sensations and Chakrata Sida. Mr. Tony Barrett on guitar has recorded with Rita Marley and the Salombe, and John Pagnotta, our saxophonist, who's also going to be performing vocals and has worked with Soul Foundation and Still Life. Last but not least, Mr. Dylan Bell on keyboard, and as well, he's worked with Hampton Avenue and Honeymoon Suite. My friends, you are in for a treat. Enjoy the sultry sounds of soul, and you'll enjoy a fantastic performance. Tonight we're going to hear a little bit of inspiration from the golden ages of the 1960s with a little bit of Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight, and Chaka Khan. So sit back, enjoy, as the Soul Jazz in the Vineyard presents Natural Elements with Miss Jillian Mendez.
Some of the girl you loved before. Between the two of us, I know I loved more. It took me by surprise, I must say. And I found the other day, don't you know that I heard it through the grapevine? I heard it through the grapevine. Not much longer would you be mine? Don't you know that I heard it through the grapevine? I heard it through the grapevine. Just about to lose my mind.
you very much. Change, 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 change of food. Oh, Pablo, yes, I thought you were my man. I'm still linking your chain. Have you been where you want me? I'm nothing but a fool. You treated me mean. Oh, you treated me cruel. Chain, 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 chain of fool. Every chain has got a weak link. I'm my big weak child, but I don't give it straight. Come on. You told me to leave you alone. My father said, come on home. My doctor said, take it easy. Oh, but your loving is much too strong. I'm added to your chain, 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 chain of fruit. Chain, 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 chain of fruit. All of these mornings, the chain is gonna break it. Up until then, I'm gonna take all I can take. Here we go. Chain, 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 chain of food. Chain, 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 chain of food. Thank you very much. A little bit of a Aretha Franklin for you all. We want to welcome you all. We are Natural Elements. How's everybody doing tonight? Now, as it was earlier said, yes, we do a lot of bit of classic R&B and soul from some of the greatest artists. So, you know, there's no need, you don't need to be afraid. You can get up and dance if you want to. I heard a few claps there. It's okay. Whatever you need, anything you want done, baby, I'll do it naturally.
Juliet.
Thank you very much. Did you all like that?
LA proved too much for the man.
Too much for the man, he couldn't make it.
So he's leaving the light. He's come to know. Oh,
He said he's going,
said it's going back to find.
going back to find.
Oh, what's left of this world? A world that left behind not so long ago. Oh, he's leaving on the midnight train to Georgia.
Leaving on the midnight train.
Said he's going back
He's going back to find.
to a simpler place and
Right.
time.
Guess
Oh,
he's
yes,
gonna
it
be
did.
right by his side.
I've got to be with him
I know you will.
on the midnight train to Georgia.
Leaving on the midnight train to
Oh,
Georgia.
woo, woo. I'd rather live in this world
In his world,
than live without him. Mine.
world is his and his alone.
He kept dreaming,
Dreaming,
oh, that someday he'll be a star.
a superstar, but he didn't get far.
But I sure found out the hard way. The dreams don't always come true. Oh no,
No,
So we pulled through his holes. And even so's hard. But a one-way ticket back to the land he wants to
train to Georgia.
Leaving on the midnight train.
Said it's going back.
He's going back to find.
To a simple place in time.
Right.
Oh, it's a day.
His side.
I've got to be with him.
I know you will.
On the midnight train to Georgia.
Leaving on the midnight train to Georgia.
Yes. Woo-hoo. I'd rather live in this world than live without him in my
world. His
oh, he's leaving on the midnight train to Georgia.
Leaving on the midnight train.
Said he's going back.
He's going back to find.
To a simpler place in time.
Right.
Oh, yes, it is. I've got to be with him.
I know you will.
On the midnight train. Oh,
the midnight train.
Yeah. Woo-hoo. I'd rather live in this world than live without her in mind.
All alone. The midnight train to go. For the love, all aboard. The midnight train to go.
My world, his world. Our world, mine and his alone. My world, his world. Our world, mine and his alone. His world, our world, mine and his alone. My world, his world. Hey!
The midnight train to go.
I've got to go, I've got to go.
The midnight train
Hey!
to go.
I've got to go, I've got to go. Hey! All good, all good. I've got to go. Midnight train. Thank you very much. Would you like one more song? Well, as much as we love Aretha and Shaka and Gladys, we do have a. That's a good one to add, actually. We're going to finish off with another well-known artist. And I know you all know this song. I know you all love this song. Let's do it, guys. Try to fight it.
Take care.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.